Well, yes, I wanted to speak briefly about the efficacy of zoos and kind of hear from the guests today, because my argument, especially for the efficacy of zoos, would be that, one, when you look at the animals in captivities, such as the gorillas, they generally live about 35 to 40 years in the wild, but in zoos, they do live longer, even if they're bored. They are living quite longer, around 50 years. And also, there's a lot of conservation efforts. You know, Steve Irwin, everyone loves the guy, I mean,
Sure.
amazing conservationalist.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed earlier, maybe I misinterpreted, but there was kind of a slight against zoos. And I realized some zoos might have unethical practices, but zoos in theory and a well-run zoo, I think, is a great thing.
I agree. I have seen zoos that are amazing, and it doesn't matter how big they are. There's a zoo in Louisiana that I think it's called the Louisiana Purchase Zoo in Monroe, Louisiana, and I call it the little zoo that could. That zoo is small, but by golly, they take good care of those animals. If I had to be in a zoo, I wouldn't mind being there. On the other hand, I've seen zoos where the animals are clearly exhibiting behaviors that are indicative of boredom, anxiety, stress. That's a problem. I understand the need for zoos, I really do, but I think we need to do a better job if we're going to have them.
You know, I think you're exactly right. And there are a lot of boards and agencies that overlook zoos. And I know of some zoos especially that try to keep natural habitats without a lot of concrete for people to walk on. But surprisingly, people who go to the zoo then complain that there's not paved pathways and everything that they would expect at a zoo. Meanwhile, the zoo is more natural, which is what the animals expect. So,
natural isn't just, that's not the whole thing. It also, it has to be interesting. If you think about everything that you do in a day to keep entertained, I don't know about you, but I have been in jobs, just a job, that was boring. Oh my Lord. Those poor animals, if they're sitting there being bored all day, just sitting in a cubicle all day, 8 hours a day, I at least get to go home. That's what I'm talking about.
No, and I think there is a big conversation to have. I mean, you can just look at how people treat their own animals. We've kind of got that spectrum with zoos and spectrums with home animals where some people just, you know, it's like 10, 20 degrees and I see dogs outside and I'm like, who is keeping their dog outside in the frigid cold? And so we do have still that kind of aspect in our society on the personal level.
Yeah, empathy is one of my big things, and animals need our empathy in a big way. They suffer, they have emotions, etc. Right.
I couldn't agree more, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.